Okay, folks, so figured we'll flip this here for a little bit and see what I consider to be about as chaotic as I can deal with. This is my painting area, and you can see the more paints and stuff that I pull out of here, the more it encroaches on my personal area. So we need to put some of this stuff away so we can think. So, anyhow, we're going to pick up finishing up this little Bowman and start rolling into the other two. And let's see what we can get knocked out. Let's go ahead and put this stuff away. And I have to do this several times during the process of working on my stuff because invariably these things encroach on my area. I'm not disciplined enough to put them away as I use them, but it's not a big deal. It's just kind of a little distracting at this point. So doo-doo. This setup here I've had for a little while now, maybe a couple of years, maybe 3 years, and it really works well for me. This area back here, these bins are actually supposed to be set horizontal. They're like a desk organizing device for like a, I guess for an office or something like that. And they had them at Michael's, and they were really affordable. And I think they're on sale or something like that. And yeah, just getting this stuff out of the way. Let's move the tankies over here. And orange brown. Let's leave this orange brown. This is the color that we started using for the rusty bits. And I'm going to keep that one around because I'm sure there's going to be more of that we're going to need to do once the decals come in. So we have a little bit of, I have a chance here to do some painting. Let me keep that one out as well. Fortunately, I had to cut off. Left some of you guys hanging, but had to go do some real life stuff. So hopefully you guys will come back and join me. If not, then I'll just sit here and talk to myself. All right. All right, here we go. So where did we leave off? Yeah, I see these people's painting areas that are really very encroaching. I don't know how they do it, but hey, whatever works for you. I just know that chaos is my enemy. I'm gonna have to need to scrub this down. I don't know how these little bits of paint still make it on here, and I don't even paint on this thing. But we'll take care of that at a later point. All right. We're gonna go fill this thing up with water, and we'll be right back. Let's re-moisten this. Okay. All right, let's see where we left off here. They're just about done with his hat. Let's go ahead and do his white feather. And we need to lose this. That's like right where my wrist goes. All right, let's find a spot we can work with here. This is reaching the end of its days, or before I need to change the paper on it. Why is this shaking so much? Tighten that. Let's maybe pull this thing off the wall a little bit and see if that makes a difference. It's still shaking a little bit. Sorry about that. Hopefully it's not too distracting. Looks like we actually have a little piece of flesh on his feather. Let's just get rid of that. And then when we're done with this figure, we got 2 more bowmen to do, and then these guys will be complete. Okay. I need to go ahead and take some of these brushes out of this water. They've been in here for a long time. They're not none of my good brushes, but they've been soaking there for a while. Using the painting the sloppy stuff, for painting the tanks and stuff. Using these big sloppy brushes. Put these guys over here. Let them dry out. Okay. Oh, we need one of those. I need one of those. Where is it? It's coming out over here now. Put all this stuff away. All these strange things that came out when we were working on different type items than we're normally used to. Okay. All right, so we still have some of this bronze over here. He's got some kind of little emblem that we've been doing that in bronze on all the figures. So we will continue that tradition. Okay, pant color. The other guy is a blue. So we're going to do a red, and we do have another red here. So we're gonna make sure we don't do the same type of red. So I don't have a red that's alive here. So let's go ahead and put some on here and then work with it. And we're gonna try to do this one maybe a little pinkish. And we'll do that by highlighting with white. It's gonna pull it into the realm of the pink realm. Okay. And this is a guy I had trouble gluing down. So let's take this stickum stuff and pull it off of his feet, because right now it's pretty close to his feet and it's going to be difficult getting in and painting his shoes. With this material close by. Okay. Man, I wasn't expecting everybody to go back into their hidey hole. I figured there'd be some people online, but hey, maybe you guys will show up later. We'll keep this going for a little bit. And if nobody shows up and this just turns into a veritable monologue, then we'll go do something a little bit more interactive. I normally end up waiting for my daughter to get out swim practice, but then I was told today that it was going to be till 10:30. So I don't need to sit there. That's still 2 hours from now, so I don't need to sit outside and wait in a car for that long when I could come back and do something different. So that's what we do. Figured let's knock out more of this figure. That's one step closer to getting this unit complete. And the other guy's blonde, so this guy won't be blonde. I'll mix it up a little bit. Maybe a little bit more color, and then we'll start adding the white. We don't want to get too bright. Actually, one of the things I enjoy painting more than anything else is adding like these fake folds into the clothing. There's always some part of a figure that different people enjoy processes. I don't like the primering step because I figure any knucklehead can do it. There's no way you can put your own spin on it, but doing these little folds and stuff, I really enjoy that. Some people dislike painting horses. I've always enjoyed painting horses. I didn't start painting any horses until 20 years ago. Never painted a horse before in my life. And then realized that I really enjoyed doing that. Okay, so we have a pair of the two reds that we have. Very different on purpose. Those colors and that kind of stuff is not standardized, and these guys were told just wear any kind of leggings you want. So they did. Hey Kevin, how are you? I'm not showing that you're online, but thanks for coming back. Appreciate it. Figured I got a couple more hours to paint. Figured I'd rather do this than boot up the Xbox or something like that. This is a lot more. Have something to show for it. Okay, so we're going to, let's do his hair. In Arizona, Stan, is it cold out there? You guys have a winter? I forget if you're up in the mountains or not. To us, cold to you. That sounds like maybe cold to me too. I actually saw a movie set in Arizona last night before I got to painting the tanks. So I was kind of surfing around and I started watching a movie at lunchtime and I said, let's wait on this one. My daughter may enjoy watching this. And not only did we do that, but we invited my mom over, and it was a movie called, that I've been wanting to see for a long time, and I just never got around to seeing it, called Breakdown. It's got Kurt Russell in it, and I thought it was pretty good. Been wanting to see that for a while, but I don't want to pay to rent that things. You know, there's enough things available on television to watch that. So it was cool. We started early, and we were done with the movie by 8 o'clock. So in the 40s, yeah. I just left a little while ago, and it was 38. But it's just absolutely beautiful outside. So hopefully it doesn't get too warm later on. Many movies made there, yeah. It's an exotic place for us. For us. Okay. Don't want to get too light of this, or you end up turning into another blonde guy. Which, you know, I want to mix it up. Okay. We've been raining. Ugh. And what I really dislike is lightning. Oh, and Florida is the lightning capital of the U.S. I don't know. I doubt it's the world, but I do not. I do not take lightning well. Rain, no problem. I don't like rain on a work day. I'd rather have a work. I'd rather have rain on my day off because I can deal with it. But on a work day, it's a royal pain in the ass. Let's give this guy black shoes. Let's give this guy some black leather shoes. A little bit different. I don't think any of the other ones have that. So people think I'm crazy when I say, "What do you mean you'd rather rain on your day off?" I said, "Well, I don't have to deal with paperwork and getting wet and lightning and shit like that. I could just get out of the weather. I can change my plans, but raining on a work day is a pain in the ass for me. So, especially on a lightning day, because I'm not going to check any loads in a lightning. Sorry, I don't get paid enough. I don't screw with lightning. I don't come to work to get killed. Sorry. Okay, what else we got to do on this clown? I think that's it. I think we're done with him. One, two. Here's his cousin. Same pose. And then these two are the same pose. So we're up to four. Two more to do. And these, of course, are the same pose. And I do that on purpose so that I can kind of be mindful of making them look different. Even though the same poses won't be on the same stand. All right, so what does this guy consist of? He's got a furry hat. He's got a beard. It's got the same leather armor, leggings, the accoutrements are the same. Got it. All right. You've had close calls with lightning 4 times. Yeah. I'm scared shitless of it. I really am. You heard Hungarians might have Sarmatian blood. Probably. Is that what you are, Sarmatian? Who knows what we all are, so. I'm not doing one of those genome things because I might find out I'm related to some people that I don't like. No, I may have some Sarmatian in me. Who knows? I know that my people are from Spain, but I've got green eyes. So I'm sure there's some Gothic or Sarmatian or something like that in me. You don't get to pick what you are, you just are. So I haven't done it. I'm not worried about the government having my DNA. I'm not that exciting. I don't think the government's evil. I think they're incompetent. So I'm not one of those people that I don't want to have my information. Oh, come on. I'm not that exciting. They can't even balance the budget. Why are they worried about me? Okay. All right, let's see. Alan settled in Spain. They were Sarmaniatic. Sarmantiatic. Sure. I'm sure there's some of that. The old country. I'm probably never going to go there now. We were due to go to Europe last year. That was going to be our European cruise, and whatever. It's not that big a deal. It's really not that big a deal. Vacation time is so difficult to come by. Taking 2 weeks in a row is like almost like impossible. Like you don't want to have to come back to your job to clean up that mess. So we pulled out some browns, and yeah, we're gonna do the whole European cruise thing or whatever. We're big cruisers, or were, way back when. I don't think that industry can survive. But at least I don't work in that industry. But those guys are screwed big time. Your station in Germany, traveled some while I was there. I would too. You're ex-military. Cool. Thank you for your service. They didn't want me, so I didn't get to serve. It worked out. You don't get me now. I'm too old and out of shape. Too old. That's crazy to think you're too old. Based on what I know now, I'm pretty sure that you always feel the same age. You know, always the age that I've always been. What? They say the time to go to Europe is not in the winter, but I'm addicted to air conditioning, so I don't think I don't want to travel to another country in the summer. I'm already hot all the time. Rome and Pompeii were incredible. I'll be honest with you. I'm not too excited to go into Italy because of their driving. Man, I've heard horror stories, and I'm kind of a control freak, so yeah. I don't think I have to worry about that for a little while. Germans come here in the summer because it's cheaper. In Arizona? Arizona's pretty cheap. You guys have a state income tax, don't you? There's only 5 states that don't have one. Florida's one of them. South Dakota, maybe Alaska. I don't know. There's only 5 of us left. There used to be more. Let's take some of this stuff off and see if we can. This thing's gunking up some, so we'll take a little break and see if we can take some of this old paint off here. This guy that I know swears by this stuff. I don't think this stuff's that big a deal, but I have it. I went ahead and bought it, and it was rather expensive. It was like $10 for this. So the part I don't like about it is what I'm doing it right now. Maybe there's another way to do it, but just running it on my palm, I feel like I'm pressing, end up rubbing too much on my palm. So let's see if this helps the shape a little bit. Not like I don't have a million other brushes. All right, where were we? We were doing the leather brown business. What is it? It's this the Masters brush cleaner and preserver. It supposedly gets out old paint. It does. The problem is that it doesn't really reshape them. I don't think I'm that hard on brushes, but you always get a little. The end always bends, and it's probably because I'm using synthetic brushes because the other ones aren't available. There's no place to get those Winsor and Newton that everybody raves about. All the all the brushes that I can get here in town are this is Zhuangcheng, China. Thanks, Nixon. Damn Chinese brushes. There's nothing else, and I don't want to mail order them. Spend $12 for one brush or more, and without looking at it. So that's fine. These will last a limited amount of time, and then they'll be relegated to doing other duties that are less precise. Damn commie brushes. get banned from YouTube by saying nasty things about the Chinese. I got no problem with the Chinese. I love Chinese armies and stuff like that. I just don't like totalitarian fucks. I have no problem with the Chinese. I think their culture and their history is really cool. I wish there was more movies of their military history. I mean, I love the Chinese armies. Paint these little ribs. I was thinking these were like a lighter color, but it seemed like the going with the whole leather thing works well. I want something tying all the figures together, not like, hey, they're all wearing similar equipment, but it's in different colors, you know. So I'm making lots of movies, like maybe about old times. Yeah, I try to check them out. I don't mind. I like foreign films. I like things in. I put subtitles on everything, so the fact that it's in another language doesn't detract from me at all. The Koreans do lots of stuff, regardless of how realistic they are. The Koreans do a lot of historical stuff. The Chinese do less, and the Japanese don't do any at all, which is a shame because they could really be doing some cool samurai stuff. But it seems like the Japanese movie are more into anime and real life kind of things, which is not my thing. They could be doing freaking warring state stuff and with the samurai stuff. That'd be really cool, but it's probably a pain in the ass to do with all that production. But instead, you're left with what's the most well-known samurai stuff is Ron and things like that. That's basically what's Ron? King Lear, which is I think what's the word I'm thinking of? It is a travesty to take Japanese stories, which I mean, there's got to be some really good. I know there's some good stuff, and then say, nah, we'll put it in Shakespeare instead. Come on, man, tell us their stories. There's got to be cool daimyo legends and all that kind of stuff. Make that into movies. Don't go and put Shakespeare in a samurai setting. You selling you guys yourselves short. I don't know. That's my opinion. The movie I just saw was produced by Toho. Not sure that is that a person or a corporation or something. And where do you go to watch those films? Are they on Amazon or Vudu, Netflix? I have all those except I don't have regular cable. I ain't paying $200 a month to have 300 channels that nothing's on there that I want to see. My daughter's the big movie person. So I try to I try to watch things that she can watch. That's right. I gotta remember to show her Last Mohican. She hasn't seen it yet, and it just came out in the last month on something we have. I've been looking for it, so. Hmm. Japanese theaters are open. Toho made Godzilla. Okay. I think there's theaters open here too, but not here in town. All we have here is Regal, and I think Regal closed all theirs down. I don't know. I thought movies were kind of on their way out, anyways. Like movie theaters before all this hit, they just gotten too expensive, and just about everything you see out there is crap. So there's only occasional things I'd watch, and mainly with the daughter, because she's, like I said, she's the movie person. She's 15 going on 16, so she'd be the movie person I would take to go do that. My wife and I really don't do movies. Not in the movie theater. She's real picky about what she watches, so all that historical stuff's right out. So I thought they were kind of on their way out, anyways. With everybody having these super great TVs, and the only thing I really enjoy on movies is I don't hear well. And when I watch something at the movie theater, I never have problem understanding anything without subtitles. I guess the volume is so loud, but when you watch it at home, the freaking back, and I don't care what you change the setting to, the background music is too freaking loud and you can't understand people's talking. So I gotta watch it with subtitles. I don't care what system is, I don't care how expensive. I've been to other people's houses, always the same. The freaking background music is like in your freaking face, and you can't understand what people are talking about. Or I can't understand what people are talking about. So, but then you go to the movie theater, and that's not the issue there. So, Monster Hunter was the recent Toho movie. Okay, is that worth a damn? Well, people are very subjective about movies. You'll hear a recommendation on a movie, and then you watch and like, man, what's that guy smoking that he liked that? Or I'll recommend something, and people don't like my recommendations. People are very particular about what it is that they like. I think that most movies that you don't that I tend to not like, the problem isn't the acting, it's the writing. They spend too much time on things they should move faster through, and then rush things that they should develop more. That's the easy way to describe it. But we want good entertainment, but the people that are making a movie, that's just their job. So there's some people out there that probably want to do it right, but there's occasionally bad acting. But I mean, just in generally speaking, seems to be the writing or the. There's a movie on Netflix that came out that started off like it was going to be an awesome movie, and halfway through, it just fizzled out and turned into something else. And it was just so shameful. Like that, there's many things, like it'll start strong and you go like, what the hell happened? So, yeah. Oh, well. Not really. Monsters were too tough. Okay. Monster Hunter. We won't write that one down. Okay, how are we doing on this color brown? Yeah, we could probably leave that right there. Leave that one alone. All right, let's go paint his face. Let's give this guy a facial. Now, I'm gonna see if there's a little bit better brush we can do when we get into this face part. Is that one better? Not really. All right. Let's see what we got over here. If not, we'll open up a new pack. Yeah. Maybe it's over here. No. Wait a second. What about this guy right here? Yep. All right. We'll open this up. Let's use this one. Made in China, of course. Why would they be made anywhere else? Okay, so this is going to be our candidate that we're going to use right now. And with some of these brushes, I invariably have to trim some of them off. There's just one little flyaway that's just all by itself. There we go. Now we'll see how this works. Trump was attempting to make more things. I don't care if they're made in other countries, but let's trade with people that are like this thing. This thing is I think it's made in France. I don't have a problem with French things, German things. I just don't. I don't want things made in places where people don't have any rights. Doesn't have to be made in the U.S. Although I do doubt when there's just some things that just don't make any sense. Like, for instance, I'm in Florida, right? So I go to the grocery store and I buy tomatoes, and the tomatoes come from Canada. Why? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And there's nothing wrong with buying Canadian products. I mean, Canadians are cool. They're our friends. But why are you shipping tomatoes all the way from freaking Canada? It's not like they don't grow things here in Florida. It just seems wasteful. So Try to buy local when you can. And it's not because I'm anti-Canadian. It's just, the product's already here. Like, why spend all the money on the fuel? Went to the store the other day and we looked at getting shrimp, and the shrimp came from frickin' Thailand. Thailand is damn near on the other side of the world. Why am I getting seafood in Florida, which we're surrounded by frickin' water, when it comes from Thailand? Well, because there's no rules on it. They can just overfish it or whatever. Or there's less rules on it. So, I don't know. It just seems wrong. Seems wasteful. I work in and I do logistics stuff. So when you see things like that, they kind of bug me. Just like if you take a flight, you have to have a connecting flight, right? So we actually had to fly to Texas one time. So we drove to Jacksonville with us northeast to get on a plane to fly to Fort Lauderdale to then turn right back around and go to Texas. I'm like, that just doesn't make any sense. And I understand why there's reasons for it, but I'm telling you, somebody who's geographic like I am, it bugs them. So, um, because all the Florida tomatoes are being shipped to Canada. There you go. Good morning, Imperator. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's wasteful. It's wasteful. Um, yeah, I got no problem with buying stuff from Canada, but things that aren't made here. Why? I mean, and I use this joke. What is it? You'll see some advertising on TV, and it's some product that doesn't cost a damn thing, and they're spending TV ads. I'm like the dollar store, okay? The stuff you buy at the dollar store, which I'm not going to the dollar store no more, okay? But you go to the dollar store, even if it was free, if people came and brought it to the store for free, you still have to pay rent. You still have to pay for someone to work there, even at minimum wage. Electricity. I don't understand how it must be a front for some selling drugs off the back or something, because it just doesn't make any sense. How you can, any of that makes any sense. Like I said, even if the products are free, I don't know that I don't get it. We buy oranges from Mexico even though we grow them in 3 states here. I don't know. I'm fine with buying Mexican oranges, but we need to use the ones we have here first, don't you think? You don't have to ship them as far. Nobody wants to pay for shipping. Go and order something. Do you want to pay extra for shipping? No, you go and you find a place that has the cheapest shipping because nobody wants to pay for that. I work in shipping. People don't want to pay for freight. They want to maximize, get as many things as they can on the same truck because nobody wants to pay for that. And if they don't mind paying for it, it's because they can pass the costs on to the next guy down the line. So, volume, volume, volume. Yeah, it still doesn't make sense. Oh well. Economics with Tony. I always like to say, I made an A in economics. That was an easy freaking class. It just makes sense. course, I don't remember when I took it. That's a sign you're getting old. You forget when I know I took this class. I just don't remember when it was. I think it was for my AA degree back in the early 90s. It's DC pays extra for Florida oranges. So Florida exports all their oranges, and you have to import Mexican oranges to meet demand. Logistics makes it all economic to do. I guess if I found out how the sausage was being made, I'd really dislike the way things are. And then what did Kevin say? Politics as well. Ugh, I wouldn't be any good at politics. People wouldn't like me. I won't even be on the homeowners association because I want to get things done, not just well, we got to do Robert's rules. Okay, how about just freaking let's accomplish things? Or I'm not one to have a meeting just to have a meeting. We're either going to get things done or screw it, we're not having a meeting. Just because is not my kind of a thing. It doesn't mean I'd be antagonistic or anything. I'm just saying that, it's like you go to work. I'm going to go to work to get things done. If I'm not going to get things done, then why am I here? I could be, painting, you know, I could be doing something I enjoy doing. It feels good to get things done, but just kicking the ball down the road is not my idea of a good time. Yeah, I wouldn't do good in politics. If you do this, I'll buy you a yacht. I don't need a yacht. I'm comfortable with who I am. Yum. Sausage. Be right back, GGP. Oh boy. Well, we're going to figure out what GGP means until you get back. Gotta go potty. There we go. Yeah, you gotta go. You didn't strap on it? Folks, when you guys turn on my channel, you need to remember to strap on a diaper. Chris, you're still in the DC area. I'm sure you guys have no end of fun things happening there lately. You guys got like front row tickets to a soup sandwich. That's more messed up than a soup sandwich. Last time I went there, I got to go in the Pentagon. And of course, we did all the museums and stuff like that. That's really cool. I wouldn't want to live around there, but it's a cool place to visit. Um, as an outsider, it's really neat to go visit a place where you don't need a vehicle. Actually, a vehicle would be more of an issue. I don't want to live in a place where I can't have a vehicle, but as someone traveling as a tourist, it's really handy. Um, I thought the metro was great. So one of my wife's best friend's husband used to work at the Pentagon. Well, at the Pentagon, or he had access to it when he was in the Navy, and had no problem going in there. Right there by the walk right by it in the hallway, right where the Joint Chiefs of Staff in there. I could have walked in there and said, "Hey, you guys need to bomb this guy and take this guy out and everything." But I'm sure they looked up my record and said, this Tony guy, he's no problem with. He's not going to be messing with any of the soldiers unless they're made out of white metal. So, or as I like to say, they pulled up my record and realized it was better than the people that were checking records on other people. That's how I like to look at it. Hey, if I was going to misbehave, I wouldn't have waited this long to do it, right? I don't know if they still do that, but downtown still pretty locked down. Armed checkpoints around Capitol Hill. Okay. Yeah. I'm too tired from work to. I got hobbies to work on that cause trouble. All the museums and all that stuff, they're still closed, aren't they? The museum that I really, really liked, it surprised me. The one I liked the most was one called, it's the American History Museum. And the reason it was cool was because I got in there and I got to see stuff I'd never seen before. Like they had one display that had like all of the emblems of like all of the vehicles that aren't made anymore, like Packard, and it was just very informative. And it's not that I love American history and screw the rest of the world. If you guys know me, you know that's not the case. I mean, I want to live here, but I don't want to live anywhere else. But I like the history from other places more than the history here. But that was a really cool museum. And I guess it was one of those, you weren't expecting it, you know? When you go to air and space, you expect to see freaking Spitfires from the hanging from the roof and things like that. But when you go to another museum, you're like, I don't know about this place, and you end up like being pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I thought that was a really really cool museum. So those don't look like tanks. Well, it doesn't look like evening time now, does it? Not sure they were open for a while with occupancy limits. Okay. Well, I got hooked on the fact that they were free. And then you go on vacation somewhere else and everything costs a fortune. I'm used to museums being free. I got spoiled with that. They're not free. They're already included in the federal income tax that gets taken away from me. It's all good. I thought they were really cool. Yeah, that's where they got that flag from War of 1812. That really impressed me, considering that was for a war that, in my opinion, nobody knows jack shit about in this country. I certainly didn't know anything about it. I didn't learn anything about it in school. Maybe if you're a history person, but that's kind of the forgotten war. They always say Korea is the forgotten war, and I think the War of 1812 is the forgotten war. Because I think even the Mexican American War gets more press than War of 1812. So, seems like it. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, from my viewpoint, that's how it is. Okay, so this guy's. Man, I love painting faces. Look at this guy. It just brings him to life. Yeah, it's going to look crappy in this video. This crummy 720 resolution, but it looks good. When I take a picture of him later when he's done, he'll look good. This guy in particular. This guy, we might even give him some gray hair or anything. We'll call this guy Chris. Oh, man. It's all good. Let's give him the sleeve treatment. Everybody in this army has had the white sleeves and stuff, so we'll keep that thing going. Those don't look like tanks. I love it. You guys are already egging me on to paint more tanks. It's coming. I've enjoyed the hell out of it. I got to rummage through the and see if I got decals for them. We got Microset and Microsol coming in the mail today. It sucks to have to mail order everything, but hobby stores are dead here. There's no such thing. If they don't have it at Hobby Lobby, you've got to, or Joann's or Michael's, you've got to mail order it. And I don't care about saving money. I'm not going to be I'm not one of those people that's like, well, I can get it for 20% off if I just mail order. I don't care. I can get it right now if I have it in a store and it helps the store. Yeah. Many years ago, I used to work at a hobby store, and people even back then in the early '90s were like, "Well, I can order it and save 10%." Like, who the hell wants to wait for 10%'s nothing? I mean, I don't think 10% makes a difference whether somebody can do a hobby or not. And they're not supporting their local business, and they're not getting it right now. So, I guess Saturday will now be business and economics talk with Tony. This is just random rambles. What else we got here? Oh shit! Holy crap! Come back and check out Udvar Hazy. Udvar Hazy. Udvar Hazy. There's So I went to, I don't think that's the name of it, but it reminded me of it. So this guy that I went with, that took me to the Pentagon, he did not want to go to the Air and Space Museum. He went to this other one that was off in another place. And it's funny. I don't remember what it's called, but I know where it's located because that's what I am. I'm the map guy. So, and it's this other off-site, and that may be the place you're talking about, the other hangar or whatever that has all the other stuff, and they have a lot more planes there. It's basically one huge hangar with everything in there. And yeah, we went to that. And the best thing that happened to him is he went with me because I'm naming off. Oh, that's a P-26P. Like, oh, they got a P-26P shooter. And he's like, how do you know that? And I'm like, I'm a historical war gamer. How do you not know that? Like, it's what I do, man. That's what we do. We find it interesting. That may be the way it is. It did have a weird name. That's probably the one you're thinking of, or you mentioned. That was a cool museum. Patton Museum on California Arizona border. Give him a tattoo. This guy? Nah, this is. These guys didn't have tattoos, as far as I know. Depends where you live. We have Fort McHenry and other local battlefields to remind us of 1812. Yeah, nothing here. You miss Radio Shack. I don't. I'll be honest with you. There's lots of stores I don't mind going in anymore because the reason I stopped wanting to go in them is the people that worked there literally had no clue of what they were doing and no interest in finding out stuff for you. It's really the interest. I mean, I worked at a part-time job. I've worked at a grocery store before. Somebody asks you, hey, where's such and such? You freaking go and be of service. But the people nowadays just like don't give a shit. I mean, sure, there's exceptions, but I think that has changed a lot. And, you know, when you go to a place and you deal with people that are, Walmart, okay, here's my Walmart argument. I haven't been in Walmart in a year and a half, and I don't plan on going to one again because everybody that works there has an attitude. Everybody that shops there has an attitude. And it's like, why do I want to go to a place where everybody's freaking angry and ugly to each other? I'm like, I'll just go somewhere else. So, anyhow, I haven't been in Walmart in about a year and a half, so I don't buy my brushes there anymore. I go somewhere else for my brushes. So I got to pay a little more, but I don't um, I don't deal with them anymore. But if you want to shop at a store I don't go to, hey, that's the beauty of freedom. You could do whatever you want. But yeah, you can't ask anybody there. The big thing is like, hey, where's this at in your store? I don't know. I just work here. Okay, well, should I ask someone who doesn't work here? Things have changed. Walmart was fine when the old man was alive, and then it just kind of changed into something else. Oh well. Radio Shack. Radio Shack was the same way. It seemed like every time I went to Radio Shack, nobody knew anything. But I guess for wiring and stuff, huh? I don't do any of that wiring stuff. So I always go to Radio Shack. I always went with my dad. He'd always need something for there. He always was handyman kind of stuff. And I'm not really a handyman person. So I'm more crafty. Wow, stores must suck in Florida. No, what happens is that it's like a catch 22. It's like I'm sure lots of people have the same experience I've had. And then they're like, well, I just get it online. And the more you buy online, the less stores have. And, you know, I have no problem ordering from Amazon because I don't have to deal with ugly people. And I don't have to drive from store to store getting dumb looks. And it just arrives. So, as much as I would rather go to a store and get it, but if they don't have it at the store, then, you know, and the thing I love about Amazon, they'll tell you what day it arrives and they lie to you. It shows up early almost every single time. They'll say it's going to be here in 4 days. And then all of a sudden it's shipped, arriving tomorrow. Like, so. And the pandemic only made all those experiences, I think, worse. It didn't improve things. So, stores must suck in Florida. I love Florida. I don't like the weather here, but I like Florida. If I worked in an office all the time and didn't have to go outside in the heat, I'd probably like Florida even more. But last thing I want to do when I'm not at work is be hot. Not this time of year, but right now it's freaking perfect. Mhm. Amazon episode on Frontline. You're tired of hitting 3 to 4 stores looking for something I could have ordered on Amazon. Yeah, that's what it is. And I would rather buy it right. I'd rather get my hands on it and use it right now. But that's the same thing that happens. I'm gonna use an example that happened to me in the last 2 years, about 2 years ago. So I'm doing this little thing called, filming, making videos, right? So I wanted to get a microphone. I wanted to get some lapel mics. So where do I go? There's no Radio Shack or whatever. I go to Best Buy, right? A decent store. I go in there. They have one mic. It's $40. It's a lapel mic and it's their insignia shitty brand. So why would I buy one microphone for $40 and there was no other options? It's like that's the only option they had and it was $40. Equivalent one online from Amazon, I got two of them for 10 and I got it within like the next day or something like that. And you can't even go to a place like Best Buy and say, okay, can you, what other options are they can order? Get them. They don't want to order things from you for you. So it's kind of like you either buy the overpriced thing and no choices from the store, or you just order it from Amazon or eBay or some other place. So that's really what the problem is. I would think that there's got to be other microphone options from Best Buy. I mean, Best Buy's a big freaking store, but nope. Is your town a tourist town? No, my town's a college town. That is what it is. Got to get closer to the ocean and those cooling breezes. Yeah, there's no breeze here. But we can travel 3 hours away and be in all kinds of different places. Within 3 hours, we have Tampa, Jacksonville, both coasts, scalloping. We could get into Georgia. Over Christmas break, we went and took off and went to Chattanooga and Tennessee, and that's only 8 hours away. So, location wise, we're in a good place. Hurricanes, we laugh at hurricanes. They don't come over here. If they do go over us, they've slowed down by the time they reach us. So I'm not going to complain. You know, get to play war games every week. Yeah, I'm not going to complain about that. So we get seasons here, even though they're short. You go to some place like Miami, yeah, you got a breeze and it's beautiful down there, but they don't never have a winter. And I love wintertime. Or Florida wintertime. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind going. I like going to the beach, but I'm wet and I don't have to do anything, and I can lay around and drink. I'm not working at the beach at a construction site, so traffic really isn't an issue here. And this is where the job I've been at for almost 27 years is at. So, here we are. Fine Spanish gold. A bit late. That's what I say. Came to Florida. My ancestors here came here 600 years ago. We didn't find any gold. There was no air conditioning, so we said, "Fuck it." We didn't come back till the 20th century. War games every week. We hear kind of lockdown, so no war games here for months. Yeah. Had family in Madeira Beach. Used to buy Christmas tree in shorts and flip flops. Madeira Beach. I want to say I know where that is. I want to say it's near Sarasota. I can't have that thing percolating in my head. I gotta look at the map. I'm too much of a map junkie. That's the problem with the beaches, though. You pay a lot of money, and and one storm can come in and freaking ruin your day. And I kind of take it for granted that, yep, I was correct. Oh no, that's St. Petersburg. Oh, that's beautiful out there. Yeah, St. Peter's really nice. The Gulf is really nice. We go to Fort Myers Beach. We've gone the last 4 years for 4th of July, and we really enjoy it. That's been our go-to place for 4th of July. Even last year, still went there. So sharks, nah, nah. There's no sharks. Don't amputate your leg while you're in the water, but they don't want anything to do with you. The Gulf is really, really calm too. So, is this the wrong color? It is. By God, I pulled the wrong color. All right, let's. I love these Coke Yarns paints, but it doesn't take long for this little thing to snap off and lose little nubs. So you end up having to find out with creative ways to open them. This is the one we're looking at. We're looking for the khaki color. This is the one we've been using for the accoutrements on these guys. Months with no wargaming. I don't know how you guys do it. Is that mandated, or you'll get fined if you meet with one other person, or self-imposed, or we didn't get together for like 5 weeks. They did. I just decided not to go over there for someone else's in my household's opinion. And then we're like, all right, really, I mean, I go home, I'm at home, I go to work, I come home from work, I maybe go to the grocery store. That's it. I don't really go anywhere else. Not being around people, that works. There's lots of people I don't like, so I'm not I'm not giving up my game thing. It's unnecessary. At least in this state, it's unnecessary. So, fortunately, I have a job where I don't have to wear any extra PPE that I already had before this all started. Otherwise, I'd probably consider a career change. I already have to wear all kinds of cumbersome things, and I'm not really around many people. First thing I did was like, okay, well, if we got to do all these other things, then I'm not having people sign, I'm not having anybody use my pens or sign any paperwork. I'll write their own damn name down. That's one less thing I got to deal with, is I'm figuring out where to sign the paperwork correctly. And I'm not really around any people, so I'm good. I forget this whole thing's going on, to be honest with you. Fortunately, because it's here to stay. It's, I don't see this ending in a long time, in different versions of it. And even if it did end tomorrow, we'd still do the stuff that we're doing right now with the videos. We enjoy doing them. So it's not necessarily a byproduct of it. It was just kind of, well, right now I'm doing this because I'm getting paid. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be, doing something else. Got chased by one in waist deep water on Gulf Coast. Scared my granny more than me, but I don't swim in the ocean to this day. Things may change here. Recently found cases of UK virus. I don't know. Make me stay at home from work. I'd love it. Can't really do what I do though from home, so. But conventions, pfft, I don't see a game convention for the next 5 years. Hey, maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised, but there's too much fear of lawsuits. So, this, hopefully I'm wrong. We'll go back to them as soon as they have them and they're not too restrictive. Well, we already game every week, so we're not necessarily looking forward to take a long drive just to be, let's see this guy here. But I think the pandemic's been good for the hobby industry. Some good's got to come from it. So you'd say 2 instead of 5. I don't know. I'm not going to make any plans. I'm just going to have the idea that it's not going to happen again, and it's okay. There's many years where I didn't go to conventions. Um, it's all right. It's not up to me. It's out of my control, and I know it's not going to be like last year. Last year we thought it was going to open up at any moment, and it didn't. Now I'm like, okay, well, it's going to be the long game, huh? All right. So we'll have to be a little bit more strategic about using our vacation times. What happened to me last year is I I have kept canceling everything we were going to do in December. I can't carry over my days. I don't get paid for them. So in December, I'm like, okay, well, I got to use the days now because it's the end of the year, even if it's just sitting at home. And we've had the busiest December ever. So um, we've been excruciatingly busy at work. So another sign that I'm not experiencing the stuff that everybody experiences in my daily life. So let's add a little bit of brown to this because we want that sheath to be a little different color than the other ones. Did you know that many of Teddy Roosevelt's Rough Riders were from Arizona? I did not know that. I'm not big on that war. My dad was, because he was born in that country. So he had kind of an interest in that. I'm not a fan of lopsided conflicts. I really kind of lose interest, like when they're really lopsided. But that's just me. But I'm looking at conflicts from the standpoint of gaming them, to paint things and gain a greater understanding. So that one's not really my. We're gonna do green with this guy's pants. I guess I could use some of that green. Yeah. Let's be lazy and use the screen that's already out here. So anything that I view really lopsided, I'm not very interested in. But that's me. My dad was really big into it, but he was never a gamer. So, but I did get my love of history from him. So, there's that. Dun, dun, dun. I don't think this green's going to take me where I need to go. It's a little too. It's not a pure enough color for me to mix it up and down. So let's go back and get us a green that I can agree with a little bit more. Easy to. Man, the time's just flown by. That's cool. Getting it done. With no conventions on the horizon, I'm getting more done than I ever have. So it's the filming, you know. All right, maybe a little bit more of this. And then we'll add a little bit of white to it. I don't mind if it's faded looking a little bit. I don't really want his leggings to be like super bright. Which side did he favor? I don't know. I don't know. He. I think. I'm guessing. I think he viewed it as that it was just kind of done as an excuse for the U.S. to go to kind of war. It wasn't like anti-Spanish, but it wasn't exactly pro-U.S. I don't know. Do you have to study history and have a side? I don't know. Maybe. Do you look at everything that way? Is one side better than the other? I guess maybe we do. That's why I like doing Eastern Front World War II. Who are the good guys? There isn't one. Everybody has built-in prejudices of where you come from and what's happened to your people. And I will never see communists in a good light. That doesn't mean I like the other side, but I will never have anything positive to say about communists. So Eastern Front's great. Which bad guy do you want to play? I've said before, is, playing all these ancients and stuff, all these people were just horrible bastards by today's standards. All of them. That doesn't mean it's not interesting. Is that your favor? Got an 1876 trapdoor Springfield rifle that was carried by a Buffalo soldier at San Juan Hill. He gave it to my great granddad for safekeeping and never came back for it. That's a cool story. Does it still work or? Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool story. I did have a 30-40 Krag as well. Didn't see any action that I know of. Always cool to hold history in your hands. Spanish Civil War was nasty. It was. For research purposes, it may be bad picking one side in historic conflicts. I got a book on Audible to read on the Spanish Civil War. It's supposedly pretty balanced. That's the other thing is I'm not interested in reading things that are all from one point or the other. You need to take everything into consideration. But I had thought about doing naval stuff in the Spanish Civil War because it's really interesting. I'm a big naval gamer, used to be, and that's kind of interesting that the Spanish Navy was split in between the two factions and a lot of what if stuff that you could do. A few actions that happened, and actually a website that a guy's got some certain scenarios from it. But certainly would be more interested in reading about the Spanish Civil War than the American Civil War. Sorry, folks that like ACW. I'm not one of them. I don't like the time period. I don't like the uniforms. My people weren't here yet. Um, as I like to say, we were over in the old country eating empanadas when that happened. So my ancestors had not made it to the new world yet, as far as I know, when the ACW was going on. Okay, let's go over to Bronze Paint Corner. Russian Civil War might be interesting to game. You got a mixture of different things and different sides, but got limited amount of time to do your gaming and painting, so you kind of have to pick what you're going to do, you know? Oh man. Firing pin removed. Okay. Mine still works fine, amazed as it's over 100 years old. There are definitely conflicts where we see black and white clearly. Um, yeah, I guess so. I know many people, I'm going to use this as an example, see if I can piss people off. I know many people that are not talking about anything in recent history, but like things that have been around for a while. There's one particular thing that I always know, I always see as the bad side, and it may be conflicting with a lot of people. And it's not what you think. It's the Mongol conquest. I just can't see the Mongols as anything other than horrible bastards. Sorry, folks, if you guys like Mongols, then, but I am not pro Mongol. Let's put it that way. So that doesn't mean I won't build a Mongol army. It's actually on my on to build list. But between the Mongols and whoever's fighting the Mongols, I see the Mongols as the bad guys. But that's just me. I know that that's probably split either way. But just destroying things just for the sake of destroying them, like that stuff that happened in the Middle East and that ISIL thing where they were destroying Palmyra and shit like that. I'm never going to go on the side of the people destroying civil, the few artifacts that we have left of what was of what's left. I just can't. I mean, there's such little information left of our history, and then there's just destroy everything. Yeah. Sorry. That doesn't mean that the people that the Mongols fought were all pure and everything, but yeah, I'm not going to see the Mongols as the good guys. Not this guy. Sorry, Jeff Caruso. Oh man, that doesn't mean I won't play them. It's kind of fun to play Rat Bastards, but no, I wasn't going to mention the Crusades. That probably goes both ways. Both sides are ugly stuff happened there, but I just mean the Mongol conquest is the one that really comes to mind. That I can't see the Mongol side. So, mm, mm, mm. Spain was first. European Anyways, gotta jump. Great day, everyone. Good day to you, Chris. The Mongols were really bad for all conquered, but from a gaming standpoint, they're quite interesting. Yeah, except it's very difficult to get rules that you can play them correctly. DBA certainly doesn't do that. The Mongols were just looking for someone to love them. Well, kumbaya to you too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think we pick sides and things. You know, the whole Roman Carthaginian thing, okay? Before I got in, I can't wrap my head around sacrificing your own children. So that alone, I just can't relate to the Carthaginians. I would not be a good Carthaginian father. Let's put it that way. Because I'm not letting something happen to my kids, you know? That's a deal breaker. So, as I like to call the Carthaginians, the baby killers. So they're not even sacrificing the other side's children. They're sacrificing their own children. I'm like, no, can't get into that. Um, Man, we're walking a line of controversial stuff, but I can't see the Aztecs as the good guys. Now, my ancestors were total bastards when they came here. There's no doubt about it. But the whole reason the Aztecs fell is their neighbors didn't want to be sacrificed by the Aztecs. So same thing. If they wouldn't have been so ugly to their neighbors, then that whole situation may not have gone the way it did. All right, we promised we were going to give this guy some gray hair, so that's what we're going to do. This dude right here. Hannibal's quite interesting, and someone has to play the other side. Yeah, that doesn't mean I won't play them. They're definitely interesting. I just we've got maybe another 15 minutes or so, and then we've got to go pick up my child package. Yeah, this guy's looking pretty cool. Like him. Rich would buy poor children for this. Who's gonna sell their kid? I don't know. I guess I've never been that poor. Yeah, and they buried like freaking virgins alive for some. I guess the cleaning lady is. Really? She's gonna do that now? I'm just kidding about the kitty lady. Vacuum cleaner. Sounds you don't hear here often. Anyhow, let's see if we can. We need to do a little bit more of this here. There are a lot of cool things in history. I like living in our age. I like 2019. 2019 was my favorite year. Or 18 or 17 or 16, you know. Was I doing videos in 2019? I was doing 2019. Yeah, yeah, 2019 was good. 2018 was good. Yeah, we had videos in those 2 years. Yeah. And we need to get some brighter white to do the feathers and such on that. Okay. Hat. Do I have time to do the hat? Probably. Curious to see what history books in the future will say about our age. Oh, you already know what they're going to say. I don't care. We won't be around for it. All right, I think we can use this as the base color for this sheepskin looking thing that he's got on his head. So, and then when we're done with this guy, there's only one guy left to do. We got all these bowmen, and technically we could play this army, but we still got war wagons and especially the war wagons to do. And I'm gonna have to build the Saloys. I'm sure one of the matchups that we'll do with these guys is against the Turks, but we got to dumb these guys down to make sure that you don't want to see a battle that's not that the Turks don't have a chance of winning. So, and I love playing the Turks. But man, it's hard as hell to win with those guys. At least in DBA it is. They need some Janissary heavy foot, which they don't have. Need some solid foot that can hold the center or something like that. That's really their biggest problem. But they look cool, and they were a lot of fun to paint, and they're still a lot of fun to play. But mine are 16 and 32, so every game they win, they've lost two. So that's but I still enjoy playing them. All right. Did the Turks go through the Hungarians on the way to Venice? I think so. I think so. I'll have to look. I think that what I was interested to find is that the Hungarians actually attacked the Holy Roman Empire and beat them. They captured Vienna for a number of years. In 1480, I wasn't aware of that. So my medieval Germans are actually an enemy of the Hungarians as well. So that's kind of cool. That was one of the reasons I I built these guys. Because I already had another army also that was enemies of them. But the Hungarians, I think, were knocked out by the Battle of Mohawks in 1525. I think that's what kind of sealed the deal on them. The Hungarians had a number of succession problems. I haven't really delved in it too deep, but they'd have a king that was of a Anjou lineage, and then they ended up having a Polish king, and then the Hunyaris took over, and this Matthias Hunyadi didn't have a son, so it ended up going to, I want to say, a descendant from Poland, and it's just really they had succession issues, and then at some point, I think some of their, I don't really know, but I think that the Mohawks really sealed the deal on them, and some history is really fun to read, and some is just so convoluted and complex that it hurts your head to kind of know it. And that's one of those things that I kind of did a rudimentary look, and it was like, oh, sometimes and it could be just as simple as just trying to figure out what flag they're using, and you're wondering, well, why do they have Polish symbols on the Hungarian flag? And then you find out that, oh, it's because they had the Polish king that was king of Poland and king of Hungary for one time, and then he ended up dying in a battle, and then it went to somebody else, and it gets really complicated sometimes. So that's the Ottomans in 1990 DBA had two artillery, two bow instead, perhaps a little better in that matchup. Probably. Hungary controlled Greece, didn't they? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think they did. They pushed the Turks back, but they didn't push the Turks back that far. The Turks already controlled Greece by the time they got into conflict with the Hungarians. So, but the Turks kind of did a divide and conquer type of thing. They knocked out the Albanians and the Wallachians and all that kind of stuff, and it's interesting, but man, it's complicated. I've tried watching some videos on those guys that do the Kings and Generals channel. They have a whole series on the Ottoman conquests of the Balkan countries, and even using maps and the little counters moving around. Because one thing that really helps me to understand history is to look at maps and stuff. It's still really confusing. So this is where we're going to stop this guy right here, and that's where we're going to stop because we've got to go pick up a child. Well, I'm probably going to be early, but that's all right. We don't want to be rushed and do that. But you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thanks for coming by and saying hi, and get some painting done. And see you guys maybe a little later. And yeah, have a good Saturday, folks. Bye bye.